Hey Aletheia Church, this is Ken and Jessica Misiak. We are here in Nairobi, Kenya. We are serving as missionaries with Africa Inland Mission. I work as a pilot, and Jessica, my wife, works as a teacher at an international Christian school.
We have three kids. Isaac is 9, Chloe is 6, and Naomi is 4.
So what I do as a pilot focus is really on unreached people groups. And so we partner with about 50 different organizations and we fly pastors, cargo, and supplies to some of the most remote and removed parts of Africa where there might not be a road or the road is cut off during certain parts of the year because of the rainy season or just because it's just not safe to travel by road. And so we kind of advance the gospel going forward and speed the gospel going forward in some of these really remote areas that we get to serve and partner with so many different groups. So it's just such a privilege.
And I teach as a librarian at West Nairobi School, which is a part of the network of international Christian schools. And so we have a student body that is made up of about 50% international students and 50% local Kenyan students, many of whom come from homes that are not believers. And so I get the opportunity as I teach kids and work with them to share the gospel with them each and every day, to talk to them about Jesus, as I read books to the kids in library class to point to biblical truths. And so it's just a blessing to love on the students, and especially those who come from homes where they're maybe hearing about the love of Jesus for the first time. We had a new student to the school. She just came for her senior year of high school. She comes from a Muslim family. And so she came in for the senior year for the AP classes to be able to get an American school degree, to be able to go to a good university. That's the academic excellence is what draws a lot of people in. Knowing that she would be exposed to Christianity by coming to a Christian school, she came in not a believer. And by the end of the year, as we were sharing in one of our staff prayer meetings, one of her other teachers spoke up and shared that she had come to love the Lord and had recognized the truth of the gospel.
One of the recent stories is just how God has been working with AIM. I get to just see his hand of protection on our pilots, on our engineers, on our families, just on a daily basis. You know, one of the recent trips I did to northern Kenya, I was landing on a remote airstrip, and there's no fences. It's just a dirt patch, a clear spot on the road. And so people are walking across it all of the time. And as I was landing, was warned in the past about watching out for thorns on the runway, but the runway looked absolutely beautiful. So I landed, and as I was taxiing back into the parking area, I looked out my window and I saw something going around my tire, and I was like, okay, no big deal. I'm controlling the plane, everything is fine. So I shut down the engine and then I opened up the door. And as soon as I opened up the door, I heard this loud hissing sound. And I knew immediately, oh my goodness, I had a flat tire. And so it actually happened because of a high heel shoe. It was about 2 or 3 inches and just a metal stud sticking up and went completely through my tire. But you know, God protected me while landing. If it was when I was going much faster, I could have veered off the runway. They're not super wide, but it was when I was taxiing in that I noticed it. And I was even able to taxi off the runway so that later a plane carrying a spare wheel assembly was able to come with the mechanic and be able to fix the plane. So God just has his hand of protection on us on a daily basis, whether it's through traffic, whether it's with high-heeled shoes, whether it's with weather, whether it's with insecurities with some of the places we fly to. Some of the places like South Sudan right now, certain areas can be more of a hot zone, but you know, God's in control and he's got his hands on us, and we just really appreciate your prayers for us on a daily basis. For our Uganda base, right now, a lot of the families are facing some visa challenges, work permits. They're just not getting approved and renewed. And so, coming up in just a couple of weeks, if they don't get their visas renewed, they're going to have to come back to the Nairobi, Kenya side until they're able to get them renewed. And also, you can be praying for the Arua base with just they're directly affected and impacted by the Ebola that's just across the border from them. Thankfully, they haven't had many cases in Uganda, but with the changing landscape, countries could shut their borders down. It could really impact the ministry and the ability to travel. And so it could hamper the work that we're trying to do. So you can pray for the Ebola situation that it doesn't spread, it doesn't get worse, and it doesn't affect our team. And then as far as the Nairobi base goes, you could also be praying for just more workers for especially for our maintenance team right now. They're really stretched thin and we've got a lot of maintenance work to be done. And so you could be praying for more teammates to be able to come out and help us out.
And then for our family, as we look at starting the new school year at the beginning of August, Naomi, our youngest, will be joining us at school. So she'll be starting a pre-K, and we're really excited to have her with us. But just pray for her in the transition as she goes to school for the first time. So thank you guys so much for all of your prayers. We really appreciate it, and we can definitely feel them here.